Hi there, it's Roland Kym with the Roland Kym Realtor in Vancouver. Today we're going to answer a few questions. It's our monthly Q&A, so we're going to spend some time answering questions that we've received from some supporters that we've inquired on what they're looking to learn more about. And so let's jump right into it and see what people have come up with. So question number one. Is the market going to crash, or are we just in a temporary slowdown? I know at times like this, it always feels like the market is not going to change. Right now, as I'm speaking, we're in December of 2025. I've got nearly 18 years of experience in the business, and so I've probably seen 4 or 5 different cycles in the marketplace. This one is a bit different, where the rebound that we typically see coming out of a slow cycle is not going to be the way it has been in the past. So the market is definitely flat. It's continuing to trend down, but it will change. It always does change. What you need to know in your personal situation is how does the current market affect you, and make the right decision based on that, because the same decision with 2 different people can have completely 2 different outcomes. Don't stress. The market will continue to grow in the future. It will rebound, and we will one day have a conversation of multiple offers again, and it's a very hot market, even though it feels like a very slow market today. So thank you for that question. All right, let's see what question number 2 is. Is it smarter to buy pre-sale or resale in this market? Well, especially in this market that we're currently in, where there's about 30% more inventory than 10-year averages. We have a lot of great properties on the market right now at low interest rates, where you can go and feel it, you can see it, you can smell it, you can really digest the property to make sure you're understanding what it is that you're buying. And what we're finding is, in the same time, the pre-sale market, it's not as if you're getting a huge discount off market value. And so right now, I would highly suggest that you buy the resale property, because again, you can apply a mortgage on it right away and you can move into it, take possession. You can, mostly important, you can feel it, see it, smell it, and totally understand what it is that you're buying. You can look at the meeting minutes of the strata, if it's a strata property, and you can talk to the neighbors, and you can really get a sense of what is it that you would be owning. And so for that reason, and the fact that in the pre-sale market, you're not getting a discount, I would say stick with the resale market. Thanks for asking. All right, question number 3. When should I get an updated valuation of my home? Okay, so I guess you're a homeowner. Service that I offer is every year we offer our clients to sit down with us and go through a current market evaluation of their home. Nothing to do with should they be thinking of buying or selling, more just to understand what the market value is. And that's a key thing. The market value tends to be different than the taxation value. In the Vancouver area, the tax value of a property is determined on July 1st of a year, but it's the prior year. So the market changes quite a bit. To answer that question, if you have a great agent and you're really inquisitive, you could have valuations multiple times a year just to really see what's going on. And otherwise, I would say, do a real estate portfolio review once a year to understand what has changed, how much of your principal have you paid down on your mortgage, and really understand, what are some of the improvements, some of the changes, perhaps renovations that you've been thinking of, which ones might be most valuable to focus on and start saving up for. And that can all be part of annual evaluation with your client, with your realtor. Question number 4. What is your honest prediction for home prices in the next 6 to 12 months? Well, I wouldn't lie to you. I wouldn't give you my unhonest opinion. As I'm sitting here at December of 2025, I believe we are going to be pretty flat in the marketplace. Now, what that means, though, differently than just assuming prices are level, is not all the properties have been selling in 2025. What I mean, there's certain categories of homes that haven't been, their prices haven't been adjusted from previous sale prices because very little has sold. And so what I see happening in 2026, by mid-year, we will see a whole new number of sales occurring that will, that will lower the price from previous sales in certain categories, certain condos in Langley or Surrey, older condos in Burnaby or Port Moody, townhouses that are only 2 bedrooms, kind of unique unique problem properties, so to speak, or properties that have, that were really lifting up in value when the market was busy. Now there's not as many buyers for it, and so they've been stagnating. The sellers have lowered the prices already on the property, but they still haven't found a buyer. And so the market is not reflecting that those will transact at 15-20% lower prices than the 2021 highs. And so as I sit here in 2025, there's categories of real estate that the price will be the same throughout 2026. There's really hot properties, certain houses, certain duplexes, 3-bedroom properties where prices will be higher in 6 to 12 months. And then again, overall, I believe prices will be lower 6 to 12 months, just slightly, because there is still quite a bit of inventory that has not transacted in the last 12 months, where the seller has now lowered the price to lower than previous sales. But we're still waiting for the buyers to enter the market. And so that tends to be another, step lower for that to happen. So in short, most property classes in 6 months will probably be a little bit lower than they are today. Okay, next question. Is now actually a good time to buy in Vancouver, or should I wait until rates drop in 2026? All right, well, this makes a few assumptions. This makes the assumption that interest rates are going to drop in 2026. And based on, if you had asked me 2 months ago, I would have told you I was expecting and hoping for a couple more interest rate drops in 2026. As I sit here right now, I don't believe that there'll be more interest rate drops. There might be one more unless the economy really goes into the gutter. But I'm seeing indication on the bond market and other areas where it really impacts our interest rate that we're probably at the low right now, and we're going to trend sideways for 2026. So if you believe that to be the case, and if you are in a situation where you've collected the down payment money, you've gotten the money together for the friction costs, those are the costs beyond purchasing a property, such as in our case, property transfer tax, the legal fees to convey the property, the inspection costs, and there's a few extras that sometimes take effect. If you have that collected, you have your down payment, and you're in a rental situation that you could timely and effectively transfer from, I would say right now is a great time to be looking, because we are definitely in a market that is buyer driven. It's a buyer's market with more inventory per transaction occurring than I've seen in my 2-decade career. So that tends to be a great time to be a buyer. Equally, it's not going to, this market's not going to outpace you quickly. This market is not taking off in 2026. And so if you buy in 6 months, it'll probably be very similar. It's really a matter of when are you ready based on your needs and your, unique situation. In the next 6 to 12 months, I think is an ideal time to buy. So let's do one more question and then we'll round it out. Okay, the last question for this month of Q&A is how much negotiating power do buyers have right now in the market? Really good question, whoever gave us that. Thank you. It's really specific. Don't you love that? It's not a simple answer. So what we're finding right now is that some sellers are coming to market and they're pricing, to market sales. They're pricing to comparables that have sold in the last 2 months, and it's a hot property and there's no negotiation room on those. And in fact, a hot property, still sells within 2 weeks in our market and often still has multiple offers. It could go over list price. And I've seen that a few times in the last few weeks. Then what you have is, you might see a good price property that's going to take a month, 30 days to find a buyer. There might be a few, a little bit of room. But then, you might see properties that have been on the market slowly working their way down on price. And some of those, I believe, depending on where they are priced, compare it to the 2021 highs of the marketplace, we're seeing sometimes 10% flexibility in price. Again, depending where they sit currently. So to answer your question, there's no, standard percentage that a buyer can expect to get off any given list price. It really depends on the seller and their listing agent, on the strategy that they're utilizing. Are they priced to sell? Are they overpriced? And are they really overpriced? So, thank you for sending in those questions. Again, I'm Roland Kym with Roland Kym Real Estate in Vancouver with nearly 2 decades of experience. I could assist you if you had a real estate buying or selling need. And I would always enjoy a phone call. So reach out. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and smash the like button, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.